welcome to Logic for the last term of the year. We are fortunate to have with us Pat Mould.
You lie. You lie.
We got it.
Okay, we good. Pat, with the Festival of Acadiens at Creoles, Pat, give us a little history of that event.
Well, there's a lot of history, Harold. It's been going on for 50, well, this would be our 52nd year coming up in 2026. And so there's a lot of history, but it started out as two concerts that took place at Blackham Coliseum, one in 1974 and one in 1975, and they were billed as a tribute to Cajun music. And from 1974, the first one, it was pouring down rain. They weren't sure if anybody was going to show up, and the place was filled to capacity. The fire marshal actually almost shut it down because there were so many people in the building. And it happened again in 1975, and then in 1976 it moved to Girard Park, and it's been there ever since.
And how long have you been with them?
I've been doing the festival for about 32 years. I've been to just about every one of them. I was at Blackham Coliseum when it first happened, and but I've been involved logistically with the festivals for about 33 years now.
Is that a paid position?
No, it's I'm on the board, and yeah.
That's all volunteers.
All volunteers. We have some part-time staffers that are paid. Development is a paid position, and yeah.
Wow, what a tribute to the volunteers.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, this festival couldn't happen without volunteers. There are probably 350 to 400 volunteers that show up every year at Girard Park that weekend to put the festival on.
I've been a part of it, I guess, for most of the time, and through Trees Acadiens or whatever.
Yeah, you've always had a booth out there promoting the trees and everything. We love it.
Yeah. I attended the festival, I think Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The weather was great. The crowds were great.
Yeah, it was another record year. I mean, Friday and Saturday were off the chart busy. You could tell there was an increase in the crowds. Sunday was comparable to the previous years. So yeah, it was. So we actually do a little geofencing now, which will tell us pretty close to how many people were there. And there's probably 80 to 100,000 people that show up for the festival.
Wow.
That weekend.
And they're from all over the world.
All over the world. We did an economic impact study a number of years ago, and these studies, they're not huge. You know, they go and they survey the crowd, try, where you're from, how much money you're going to spend while you're here, questions like that. And that year, it showed that we had people from 12 different countries on the ground: Ireland, France, Canada, Haiti, Spain, Japan. I mean, it was just crazy.
Yeah, we were at our booth. We'd have the names of people, that volunteered for whatever. But if they took a tree, they would sign up. We'd make them sign up, and the only thing they were doing was promising to plant the tree.
Yeah, right.
And they were getting a potted tree. So we were always amazed at where they came from.
Yeah, I know. They come from every state in the Union and from all over the country.
I was amazed at the parishes, from North Louisiana to New Orleans and you name it,
Yeah, we have a huge contingency that comes from New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, Houston, and North Louisiana.
Where do you see the future going?
I mean, I see it kind of staying kind of true to what it's become. It's a barometer for where we are culturally in the region, And from the looks of it, the culture is in good hands. We have a lot of young people coming up through the ranks that are playing Cajun and Zydeco music, and we have some younger people that are getting involved from a volunteer standpoint. So I think the future looks pretty good.
I'm kind of amazed that it's all run by volunteers.
Well, like I said, we have some paid staff, but it's very minimal compared to some other festivals.
And Barry Owsley started it all?
Barry he was asked by Jimmy DiMaggio. I don't know if you remember, I'm
yeah.
sure you remember Jimmy DiMaggio. And he asked Barry to put on a concert. There was a group of international reporters coming to town. And so we wanted to show them, Jimmy wanted to show them some of the Cajun and Creole music. And so he asked Barry to put on a tribute to Cajun music. And there were people there like, Clifton Chenier and Nathan Apshire and Dewey Balfa and Boisette Canray. It was really a who's who of Cajun and Zydeco music. And that happened for 2 years, and then they decided they didn't want to do it. They weren't going to do it anymore, and Barry kind of called them on it and said, you got to be crazy. They had all this momentum going. I mean, both concerts were filled to capacity.
Yeah.
And so he convinced them to do another one. That's when they moved to Girard Park in 1976 and put on the festival there. And that's been the home ever since.
And it was around the planetarium.
Correct. You had the food festival was at the Hyman's, in the ballroom at the Hyman. You had the Native Arts and Crafts Festival that was at the planetarium. And then you had the Festival de Musique Acadiens et Creoles at Girard Park. And then eventually...
So y'all needed to put it all together.
Right. And I was kind of instrumental in making that happen.
Yeah.
The Lafayette JCs were running it at the time, and I convinced them, and I was a chef at that time, and I was cooking at the Hyman Center, and there was no music, And I'm like, where's the music? And I wanted to be near the music, so I wrote a letter to the JCs, and they heeded my advice and moved the food festival first. And then a number of years later, like decades later, we convinced the Louisiana Crafts Guild to come move the Crafts Fair into the park as well, because at that time it had moved into the space behind the Hyman Center where the food festival was, and we convinced them to come to the park, and they did. So now all three Festivals Acadiens et Creoles is plural because it's a combination of three different festivals. The Festival de Musique Acadiens et Creoles, the Louisiana Crafts Fair, and the Bayou Food Festival. So when all those three separate events came under one umbrella, it became Festivals Acadiens. And then in 2007, when the JCs fell out and we moved and we took it over, formed a new nonprofit and took it over, is when we added a Creole to the mix. And so yeah, it's been Festivals Acadiens et Creoles ever since 2007.
Wow. So that festival probably is 14 or 15 years older than the Festival International.
Yeah, it's about 12 years older. We're second probably only to Jazz Festival in age as far as a music festival is concerned. But yeah, Festival International is going to be celebrating their 40th anniversary this year.
Yeah. And we used to be a big part of that.
Yeah, I was involved with Festival International in the beginning for the first 3 to 5 years. I helped them put together the Pavillon de Cuisine that took place in the old F&B parking lot.
Yeah.
And then I decided it was just too much to do to be involved in two festivals, and I chose Festival de Acadiens as my festival to be involved with.
So Barry initiated it
Yeah.
at the request of Jimmy DiMaggio.
Correct. Yeah, Barry's been involved for 51 years now. This will be his 52nd year involved with the festival. So he's been around the block a couple of times,
Were y'all paying those, the first bands that came, were they being paid?
Yeah, they were paid, but they were paid so little. I mean, it was like, $10 a man, I believe, is what the first bands got paid. It was crazy. And look, most of the bands did it because as a favor to Jimmy DiMaggio, who was a well-known state senator. And by his invitation, they just kind of, Clifton Chenier, would normally get paid a lot more money than what he got paid that night. But one of the things we want to do as a festival is to pay our musicians as much as we possibly can, because without the musicians, without the artists, the chefs, you just don't have a festival.
Yeah.
So.
And then right now y'all have, what, 4 stages?
5, five. Let's see, we got the Saint Marc Louisiane, Saint Marc Heritage, the Solid Dance, the Saint Atelier, and we have a jam tent. So we have 5 areas where you can see and hear music.
And y'all have a French mass?
We do a French Mass in the Salle de Danse on Sunday morning, as is our Catholic tradition down here in Cajun country. We also have, again, the Bayou Food Festival. We have 2 children's areas, the crafts fair. So yeah, it's turned into quite a thing from its one little stage way back when in 1976.
Well, your blacksmiths are there. They have all kinds of crafts there.
Yeah, the Crafts
And
Guild, the Louisiana
workers.
Yeah. The Louisiana Crafts Guild does a great job of curating the crafts fair. And then, yes, they have all these, the blacksmiths and people making art right in front of people.
Yeah.
So they get to see the process, which is very cool.
As I could easily spend half a day just going through all those crafts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's, and actually, it starts on Friday night. Normally, we just open up one stage on Friday night, but the crafts fair is kind of taking it upon themselves, which is great, to kind of open up on Friday nights so people have a little bit more time to peruse the art.
Yeah. I'm kind of amazed that the art, where they come from, the artists, they come from all over the country.
Yeah. The entire South.
Do you charge?
Yeah, we charge a nominal booth. The Crafts Guild charges a nominal booth fee, of which the festival gets a small percentage of. Which is partly how we fund the festival.
So what's your source of funding?
We sponsorships, grants. We have a Festival Friends program that the public can support us through. We also have the Village de Tents, where we charge a nominal fee to pitch your tent. And then we sell all the beverages. So the main source of revenue is probably the beverages. Although the sponsorships have been pretty good these last few years.
So what percentage do you get of the beverages?
Well, the festival gets all the profit from the sale of beverages, and that's how we fund the festival.
Really?
Yeah.
So when you buy a Coke?
When you buy a Coke or a bottle of water or a cocktail or a glass of wine, you're helping to support the festival.
Wow. Now, y'all don't have pins or anything like that?
Yes, we
do?
We have pins and posters that we sell. And then we have a merch provider that comes in. Ronnie Montook with Talking Tees comes in and sells all the T-shirts and the hats and all that kind of stuff.
Wow. So y'all got the funding pretty much figured out?
We got the funding figured out. That was one of the things we had to do when we formed the new nonprofit. In order to keep the festival financially solvent, we had to figure out the finances. And we've done our board and members over the years have done a really good job of figuring that out.
And that's all run by volunteers?
Yep.
That's a tribute to volunteers?
Exactly. Like I said, we have a few part-time paid positions, but for the most part, everybody you see out there is a volunteer.
Wow. I've noticed that on the back side that y'all have a gumbo or something like that every time?
Yeah. We cook behind the stages. One of my cooks, Buffalo, comes in and does a big pot of gumbo or a pot of red beans and rice, so we feed the musicians while we at it. And Barry has a posse of cooks over at his place, and Ward Lorman, who runs the dance hall, they do some cooking over there as well. So we try to treat the musicians as best we can and pay them as much as we can and feed them in the process as well.
Wow. So what's the revenue from drinks?
Oh, it varies from year to year.
But if you have 100,000 people,
It
they all have to have a drink.
Correct. So it adds up, and it's how we finance the festival. So everything we generate in the way of revenue from the previous year goes into supporting the next year's festival.
Wow. Well, that's an amazing thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, thank you for volunteering.
Well, you're welcome.
Because I know you're a main part of it, and so is Barry. You know, and y'all not getting paid. I was thinking as I came up here, wonder what your income is from the festival, but y'all not getting paid at all. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Where do you see the future of the festival going?
I think it's going to continue along the lines of what it's been. You know,
You can't
I mean,
beat success.
huh?
You can't beat success.
Can't be success. I mean, you know, and like I said, we've been real cognizant of getting younger people involved on the stages, but also younger people in the audiences. You know, in the audience, because you know, without younger people coming up through the ranks, enjoying this music and wanting to be a part of it, the festival would die.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, we've got a lot of young, talented musicians, Adeline Miller, Luke Huval, Amelia Powell, the Powell, Dirk's daughters, coming up through the ranks. I'm trying to think of some Rusty Matoyer on the Creole side, coming up through the ranks that are playing this music and attract Chris Ardoin and attracting a younger audience to the festival.
'Cause, just looking at the people there, I would say the average age must probably in their 20s, you know.
Well, it's probably a little older than that. I mean, our crowd has gotten younger over the years, but it kind of skews a little in the upper age range. But yeah, it's amazing how many young people have really gravitated to the festival. And I think that's a tribute to our PR and marketing that we do and our social media outreach. You know, you got to have a strong social media presence these years in order to be able to survive. And we've been able to have a pretty well orchestrated social media platform.
I'm always impressed with people who can pray for good weather and get it.
Yeah, right. We've been lucky, knock on wood. You know, we moved the festival from September to October to avoid the hurricanes, and we've been lucky up to this point. And the heat. And we've been very lucky in that the weather has cooperated year after year.
I think it's the second weekend.
It's the second full weekend of October. It's always the second Friday, Saturday, Sunday of every October every year. So that's how you can kind of mark your calendar for it. And yeah.
So it's the second full weekend
Of October. Yeah.
So usually would be from the 1st to about the 10th, huh?
Yeah, it's usually around the 9th, 10th, and 11th, maybe the 12th sometimes, maybe the 13th, but generally around that time of year.
Yeah, because if the first lands on a Saturday, it goes to the next right?
Correct. Correct. So it could be a little later, just a little bit later in October.
What kind of arrangements y'all have with the city in using the park?
Well, the city is, well, we rent the park. We actually pay to rent the park, but the city has been really supportive of the festival over the years. And especially this new administration really understands the significance. Mayor Blanco Boulay really understands the significance of the festival, its cultural significance, and what it means to the community. And so they provide us with security. They provide us, LUS comes out there.
How's the sheriff's department?
Not the sheriff, the city police. Well, they'll bring in some sheriff deputies,
Yeah.
but the city police will provide security. LUS helps with the electrical needs. LFT fiber gets us connected to the World Wide Web so that everything runs smoothly. So the city has been really, really supportive of the festival.
As they should.
As they should, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tax generator for the festival. We generate, we have probably about
You fill the motels.
we fill the motels. We probably have about a $12 to $15 million economic impact on the city that weekend.
Yeah. And that's probably a very cautious guesstimate of what
Yeah,
Yeah.
It is a cautious guesstimate.
they could, you could work with economics department of UF and come up with some real numbers.
Yeah, we're talking about doing another economic impact study in the coming year, so we'll see. I might have some new numbers for you next time we talk.
Yeah, it was, what, 7, 8 years ago that you,
Yeah, I was here talking about festival.
yeah. So you have support from the sheriff's department?
Well, the sheriff deputies come in. The city police contracts, I believe, with some of the sheriff deputies to come in and help with security. But we never have any problem. We might get somebody who has a little bit too much to drink, but that's about it. You know, there's no really crime going on at the festival. It's very family friendly. The crowd is happy. We've got the thing about the festival too is that it's kind of a multi-generational sort of festival.
Yeah.
You got the papa and the mama, you got the kids, you got the grandkids. They're all out there just having a good time, enjoying the festival. So it's a real docile sort of crowd, you know. It's not like we're going to have a lot of problems with the crowd. It's very family sort of oriented type of festival.
I noticed that the litter control and the recycling has been very successful.
Oh, yeah,
Can you
yeah.
Tell us about how that works.
Yeah, Greg Guidros, who is our recycling guru, we actually have volunteers that come out, and then we also contract with Parks and Rec so that their people can help us, because it's a huge undertaking. The recycling and the garbage collection is a huge undertaking. And we want to make sure that when we leave the park, we leave it as close to as what it
When you got there.
was when we got there, exactly. And we've had people comment, like on Monday morning, they would say, man, I was in the park, and it was like y'all weren't even there. And that's how we like it. We don't want to be destroying our home. This
Yeah,
is,
you don't want to trash it.
don't want to trash the house, man. And so yeah, Greg Guidros kind of manages the volunteers and the contracted people to help with the recycling. We were actually, we were probably the first festival within the southern United States that developed a recycling program. That was one of my initiatives when I came on board. Is I wanted to see recycling be an initiative for us. And what we did, the first thing we did was we got rid of the plastic cups and went to recyclable plastic cups. Then we got rid of all the bottles, and the few bottles that we do still have, we send them off to a place where they grind them up and make sand out of them and send it down to the coast. So our mission was to make sure that we have a strong recycling program, and again, that we leave the park in as good a shape as when we found it.
Yeah, and that was certainly true when we left it Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it all comes together.
So it's kind of remarkable how your volunteers keep up with the the containers,
Yes.
because they're running around all the time picking them up and they empty, because if they spill over, people, they won't walk up to it at all.
Right. Right. Yeah.
You
It's
gotta
a
maintain them.
it's a huge undertaking. You know, Greg and his crew get there on Friday, man. They set up all those containers, all those collection baskets, or cans, I should say.
And I guess some of that is with Vermilionville.
I'm not sure if Greg is still with Vermilionville, but Vermilionville sends over the containers that we use.
Yeah.
They allow us to use the containers. So shout out to Vermilionville for that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we like I said, we've had a recycling program, I want to say, for at least 30 years.
Yeah, and Lafayette probably leads the nation in how much it recycles.
Right.
One of the biggest things was recycling the branches and leaves and all of that material, grass clippings.
At some point, I'd like to do a food waste recycling program, but that's another subject for down the road,
Then that mostly go to hogs.
Yeah, exactly. Because everything on the hog is good,
Yeah. Yeah, I used to serve mass for Father Sterling's, and
Uh-huh.
they ate horse meat for breakfast.
Really?
Yeah, they said y'all would have bacon and and ham,
Uh-huh.
and you ever watch a pig?
Yeah, right. Like, exactly.
But they had horse meat and eel. So the recycling program is a big success.
Big success. All the cans, I mean, we recycle thousands of pounds of cans and plastic and waste over the course of I had it documented at one point. I can't remember now how many tons of waste that we've recycled over the decades, but it's a substantial amount.
Well, you can watch people, drinking whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't see people abusing the drinks.
Like I said, people have become really responsible in that regard. We train all the volunteers on how to look for somebody that maybe has had too much to drink. We check IDs religiously, and like I said, are real cognizant of how we serve the public alcohol.
That's required by, I guess, y'all have a liquor license?
Yes, we have a temporary liquor license that we sign up for every year. ATC comes out there and checks us to make sure, we're not selling to anybody underage. So yeah, it's a good program.
What other part of the program, we've talked about how y'all finance it, and that's an amazing thing that y'all have figured that out.
Mm-hmm. Well, the selection of the bands, we have because I'm always asked about that, like how do you select the bands and who selects them? Well, we have over the last
You
few
have a
years.
committee that does that.
Correct. We have a committee that they submit a list of a kind of a wish list of bands, and then we have somebody contact all the bands, contract with the bands, so they can secure their spot. But yeah, we have a committee that kind of puts together the main list, and then Barry and I will schedule it according to their availability.
Anything y'all can think of that would improve the festival?
Well, I mean, I think, you know, I think the public support area is probably where we can pick up the pace a little bit here. You know, I mean, I think the public, we always say how it's free. You know, it's free, it's free, it's free. Well, it's not really free. It takes a lot of money to put on the festival, and so a number of years ago, I decided to start the Festival Friends program. And that's been very successful. But I think the public giving could stand to be a little bit more substantial. We started a program this past year where we had QR codes out, and you could donate to the festival. You can always go to festivalsacadiens.com, and you can donate there. I think having the public understand the significance of the festival, its impact on the culture, is worth supporting on a regular basis. Because what we're going to do with that money is we're going to do things to improve the cultural landscape of Lafayette. We send musicians. We've sent musicians to St. Anne to learn how to speak French. We sent a chef to the Cannes Film Festival to cook. We've planted trees in Girard Park. We recently are working with Parks and Rec right now about identifying every tree in the park.
We've done 2 of those.
Yeah, well, we're going to do another one, and continue to identify the trees, but then look at the health of the tree. You know, Harold?
Yeah. My spouse did that. The first time, I think, was in 84, 85.
Uh-huh.
And we had the state arborist
Right.
help us.
Well, I had Jimmy Moe with out of Abbeville, who's an arborist out of Abbeville, worked with the city, is working with the city arborist to identify the trees, mark them, and determine their health. And then what we're going to do is we're going to mulch every tree in Girard Park prior to next year's festival. And then we're going to, they have this mechanical device that you can break the ground up. The ground in Girard Park has become so compacted that it's hard for the trees to get the amount of water that they need. A lot of the water just runs off. So we're going in there and we're aerating the ground next to all the trees to encourage their health and their growth.
See, the foot traffic
Yeah, exactly.
compounds it.
And then we're driving vehicles on the ground, and so we want to make sure Girard Park is here for a while and looks as beautiful as it always looks. And so this is a new initiative that we took on this year to try and get all the trees looked at, identified, and determine their health. And I'm really excited about that. And the city, again, Parks and Rec has been real supportive of the initiative, so I'm excited.
So when we first did it in '84, I think we had 60% of the trees were water oaks, and they were all at or near maturity.
Right.
And so, and then 17 years later, we duplicated it, and the water oaks had gone from around 40% to 10%.
Oh, wow.
Because they were all at or near maturity, so they were gradually taking them out.
Yeah, right.
And they were replacing them with with live oaks.
With live oaks, right.
And a lot of those live oaks now are 20, 30 years old, so best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago.
Yeah, right.
Best time is today. But my scout troop has been a part of that, you know.
Well, that's right. The Boy Scouts came out and helped us plant all those trees when we planted the fruit trees and the pecan trees, and we planted, I think, some live oaks out there. That was probably, 15, 20 years ago, if not longer.
Yeah, that was one of my scouts had that as an Eagle project.
Yeah, right, right. That was a great project. I forgot.
Yeah. Time flies.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Yeah. One of the things that I think has been very good for us is the interest in trees, you know.
Yeah, right.
'Cause the park is beautiful and the live oak trees there are something to,
Yeah, there's something to see,
yeah,
man.
yeah,
They really, you know, especially around the main stage, Saint Mont, Louisiana, you have that grove of oaks right there that people can sit under and enjoy the festival.
what, the Gerards, I think it's 28 acres.
I think it's around 28 acres, yeah.
Yeah, and it must have been the Gerards that gave it to you all. I guess they gave it to the city.
No, to the city.
Yeah,
It was, well, Jimmy Moe's father or family owned that property. And then I think they sold it to somebody. I can't remember who. I don't remember the story exactly. And then the
never
city.
had a log cabin in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
33.4.
33.4 acres? Nice. We were close.
so, but anyway, I think somebody lived in the park. That was the kind of the park caretaker.
Oh, yeah, they have a caretaker's house
Yeah.
in the middle of Gerard Park.
Yeah,
Right. And, yeah, the guy who, yeah, there's still somebody living in that house.
well, the original house was over, kind of right on Gerard Park Drive,
Uh-huh.
and he was a scoutmaster, so in the 50s.
Oh, wow.
There was a log cabin right there where the basketball courts are, right when you turn in.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
really?
right.
It's-
Yeah,
That's where, oldest Marty, we went to school with him in Hamilton, that's where he lived. He had-
I'll be.
It was like a log cabin.
I don't remember
I
that.
think he was a scoutmaster years ago.
That was before my time.
Yeah. So that's a real treasure to Lafayette. And of course, having a festival there is a big part of helping Lafayette maintain it.
Yeah, I mean,
It's important that y'all are contributing to that and you taking the proceeds from your festival and helping to maintain it.
right. We want to do everything we can to keep Gerard Park healthy, you know, because that's our home. When Monkus came along, a lot of people thought we might move to Monkus Park, but no, I mean, Gerard Park's been our home since 1976, and it's going to stay that way, you know?
Yeah, I heard they wanted to move the Festival International out to Monkus Park.
Yeah.
That's not gonna happen.
No, I don't think so.
You know, the parking. And of course, parking is a big problem for festivals. How do y'all do that?
Well, UL opens up all its parking lots for paid parking and also for volunteer parking. And then you have the All Center right there. So there's a lot of places to park. I mean, parking has never really been an issue. It's more of an issue internally because we have to figure out where to park the musicians and the VIPs and the sponsors and all the crafts people that come out, all the food festival people that come out. So it's more of an internal struggle, but it seems like the parking around the festival has been sufficient enough to support the festival and its needs.
Yeah, I would agree with that, you know. And that's, if you moved it out to Monkus Park, you'd have a real parking problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But the oil center probably provides most of the parking.
Yeah, yeah. Well, UL provides a lot too. I mean, they have several garages, and then ground level parking as well.
the bands are all local?
Hmm.
Yeah.
We got a couple that come in from New Orleans,
Yeah.
but all the bands are local for the most part. Probably 95% of the bands are from this area.
So it keeps building our culture.
Yeah, and it keeps building the culture, and you know, the bands keep coming. I mean, it always amazes me how many more bands we have coming on the scene. And but probably 95% of them are local. We get a couple from Houston, a couple from New Orleans, but for the most part, everybody's from around here. It's kind of like a big homecoming, if you will. The musicians love it because once a year, that's the only time of the year they really get to see each other. You know, because they're all out touring or. Oh, we got a phone call.
You on the air? Can we help you?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, I'm trying to call in. I'm trying to call in a question for Harold Sheffler's show.
You reached
Yeah,
us?
you reached us.
Oh, okay, cool. I just wanted to know, how can new volunteers get involved?
You can go to festivalsacadiens.com when we get closer to the festival, and you can sign up that way. It's
so
all
a
online.
thing.
What's that?
Yeah, I was just curious. Okay, so it's something you can just get onto the website.
Correct.
Yeah. Thank you for your
Sounds
interest.
good.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you.
All right, you're welcome. Bye-bye. And that's the other thing about the volunteer. You know, we support other nonprofit organizations like the Writers Project or Trail. The immersion teachers of Acadiana all come in as a group, and they might take a beer booth, and then they get all the tips from the sale, and so it's another way for us to support other nonprofits through letting them come and volunteer at the festival.
So the tips when you at each booth, the tips are for theirs?
Yeah, a majority of them go to the nonprofit. We actually pay a little stipend to each nonprofit, and then they get to take a percentage of the tips. The majority of it goes to the volunteers, and a percentage of it comes back to the festival to help put on the following year's festival.
Oh, okay. So you all have that aspect covered.
Well, we're supporting other nonprofits, you know, which is a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a plus for the whole community.
Exactly. And it's very much a community event. I mean, you know, that's what it's turned into. Like I said, it's a barometer of where we are culturally when it comes to Cajun and Creole culture. But it's very, very much a community event.
Yeah. We met with Mike Reshore the other day, and he volunteered to donate trees to the cause for whenever the festival comes.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Because he says we plant always a lot more than we can sell, so
Yeah,
the crooked ones we're going to give to you.
nice.
They said if you're getting a free tree, if you're paying for a tree, you don't want a crooked one, but if you're getting
Getting it for free.
you're gonna
You take what you can get.
yeah. So we've really been lucky that we've had the nurseries around here have contributed trees which we give away free, you know.
Yeah, right.
We used to Trees Acadiana would have a potting session,
Mm-hmm.
and we'd pot 500 or 600 trees
Wow.
from seedlings.
Wow. Yeah, we love having trees of Acadiana out there, and I think it was, you know, who else did we have? We had the Lions Club was out there.
You had a veterans group.
We had the Veterans Golf Tournament was out there this year. So, we like I said, we want to try and help as many nonprofits as we can, because we know how difficult it is to be a nonprofit, you know, which is why we look to the public to garner as much support as we possibly can, you know.
Yeah. I think it's a great thing, and it's good to hear it's all run by volunteers.
Mhm. Like I said, we got a few part-time paid staffers, but yeah, I mean, everybody that you see out there, for the most part, is a volunteer, which is great. And people love, and they come back every year, Harold. It's amazing. People will plan their vacation time. They'll take off of work. They'll do, it's amazing how many of the volunteers you see year in and year out.
Yeah.
It's really heartwarming to see that people love this festival so much that they would give up their vacation to come and volunteer, which is pretty cool.
When did they say you do volunteer? It starts
We usually
the week of.
No, we usually open. Oh, well, yeah. The volunteer assignments start the Monday prior to festival. But we usually open up the volunteer platform in around March, April, or right after Festival International, because we want them to be able to garner as many volunteers as they possibly can as well, because it takes a lot of volunteers to put that festival on. But we'll open up the platform probably in May to allow people to volunteer. And then the volunteer sessions start on Monday, and then they go through the Sunday of festival. But you don't have to. You can only volunteer for 1 4-hour shift if you want.
Yeah.
You don't have to be out there all week like a lot of people are.
Yeah. Well, we really had enjoyed being out there, because you meet people from all over the country,
Mm-hmm.
and they all very positive. They want to be helpful.
Yeah, they love it. I mean, people. It's amazing to me how many people, and you get a lot of people coming home, to celebrate their culture.
Yeah.
But it's amazing to me how many people from outside the cultural sphere that we have around here come to this festival, because they're so in love with our culture and how we live, how we eat, how we dance, how we play, how we sing music. They really do come from all over the country and all over the world.
The uniqueness of Cajun culture,
Correct.
and y'all certainly bring it home.
Well, we try. We try.
Does KRVS broadcast?
Yes, KRVS does broadcast the festival every year. They come and set up shop in the park. And so if you can't come to the festival, you can always listen to it on KRVS. But yeah, they do come out every year and broadcast.
What about AOC?
AOC doesn't come out. No, they haven't. They used to come out years ago, and I don't know what happened. They just stopped coming. I think it was too much doing 2 festivals, because I think they still do international. And so I think it was just too much for them to have 2 festivals a year.
Okay, KRVS is good.
Yeah, KRVS is broadcasting.
So anyway, congratulations on the success of Festival International. You've been a major part of it, and
Well, thank
we
you.
appreciate you doing it all as a volunteer. I can appreciate being a volunteer.
Well,
I was
it's
Scoutmaster for 42 years.
it's a fun thing. It's a fun project. I mean, it was funny because I'll tell you a quick story of how I got involved. A weekly newspaper used to do this article that they titled "What's Hot and What's Hot Not," and they had deemed Festival of Acadiens "What's Hot Not." And I was like, "Are you kidding me? This is crazy. Y'all hear what y'all are saying?" So my first call was to the editor of the newspaper to explain to him that, Festival of Acadiens was second only in cultural significance to Jazz Fest, maybe. And my second call was to Barry Onsley, and I asked him, I wanted to do a pop-up tent, and I wanted to interview musicians. So as the musicians would come off stage, they would come to my little tent, and I would pretend like I was Howard Cosell,
Yeah.
getting up close and personal. And Barry agreed to let me do it. And so that's how I first got involved with festival. And the vision we had was to always, for it to evolve into a second stage, a second open air stage. Because at that time, they only had one open air stage. And so, yeah, it started off as a little 10 by 10 tent. Next thing you know, San Mon Heritage is our second full open air stage. Then we added the dance hall tent. Then we added the, we continued to do the workshops and interviews at another tent. And then we added the Jam Sa tent where you could bring your instrument to the park and play music with Acadian and Zydeco musicians. So that's kind of the short story of how the festival expanded. It all came out of that one article that it deemed Festival Acadiens was hot not. And I wasn't having it, Harold. You know, I had to get involved.
Did he write it after that?
They kind of realized that they might have made a mistake a little bit. In their defense, the festival was just the one stage. It wasn't as significant probably back then as it is today, but still it was culturally sound because you had everything. You had the food, the music, the art, the language. The culture was on full display, no matter whether it's one stage or 5 stages. The significance of the festival was still there, and I just thought it was kind of a slight to the festival in general, and made the call to both the editor and to Harold. I mean to Barry.
Kind of amazing thing.
Well, you don't know if you don't make the call, you don't know what's your role or how you feel you're gonna fit. And I was very much a fan of Cajun and Zydeco music at that time in my life. I still am, obviously, and I felt like it was a way for me to kind of contribute to our culture. Since I don't speak French, my people were English. My grandmother was Spanish and Native American. My grandfather was German. They both spoke French, but my mother never passed it on to. And my mother spoke French, but she never passed it on to us. So it was kind of my way of contributing to my culture without speaking. You know, even though I didn't speak French.
Yeah, my uncle wrote the French Cajun dictionary.
Oh, really?
Monsignor Dago.
Yeah. I think, yeah.
And of course, he was a big supporter of your festival.
Yeah, he loved the festival.
Yeah. He was quite a character.
Yes, he was.
And he finished that book when he was 94.
Wow. Wow. Hope I'm still able to do something when I'm 94.
About 300,000 words, you know.
That's crazy. Wow.
I think, but that book certainly, I think, is the epitome of what the Cajun culture is like, you know.
Yeah, right.
Because the history of the Cajuns was that the king of France married the queen of Normandy married a French king, and he died, and then she married his son. So that brought the Acadians to Nova Scotia.
Right.
Because they were really leaving France because they didn't want Normandy to be a part of France.
Ah.
So,
And they were persecuted for their religious beliefs as well, I believe.
well, the English, of course, when the English took over Canada, the Cajuns had to caught the blame for everything that was done, you know.
Yeah, right.
So at some point they had to get rid of them, and which was Louisiana's. Louisiana was Spain under Spain then.
Correct. When the Acadians arrived, you're right.
Yeah.
The Louisiana was under Spanish rule, and they gave
Spanish and French were allied. So
right. They gave them land grants to this part of the country.
Yeah. Got 1 minute left, so Pat, thank you so much for being here.
My pleasure.
45 seconds.
Well, Harold, I thank you for everything you do, and thank you for inviting me, and I appreciate it.
Well, we tried to help festivals, so
Well, good.
glad you could make it and be here and inform us on how all this works. And I think your success is a tribute to volunteerism,
Hmm.
because the whole damn thing runs on volunteers. And when I buy a Coke,
Bob, what's your vote? 10 seconds.
anyway, thank you for being here, Pat.
My pleasure.
4, 3, 2, 1. Should be going off. Stop. There it goes.
Thank you for being here.